Murtz Jaffer here with the latest Big Brother Canada evictee, Shanaya Carter, who was sent packing in Thursday's shocking double eviction episode. Shanaya, how do you think Ty using the veto and forcing Claudia to name one of her allies as the replacement nominee will affect his relationship with her moving forward?
Well, look, from my perspective of things and my understanding, I think Ty was using this as an opportunity to solidify his relationship with Claudia. He told me that me using the veto during his HOH week really messed things up for him, which I'm proud of. But because of that, he told Claudia that he would potentially work with her and Renee moving forward in the house if she was to put me up as a replacement nominee. So I actually think he was smart and he used this opportunity to hold it over Claudia's head. And going forward, he'll now actually have somewhat of a, albeit shaky, alliance in the house.
Why do you think Claudia chose to nominate you as the replacement instead of Renee?
I think it all comes back down to Ty. That's what I'm choosing to believe in this moment anyway. There's a paranoid part of me that thinks maybe this was a plan for a little while, but I'm choosing to block that out because Claudia and I had a final two together. We have been working together almost since the very, 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 very start. She was my bestie in that house. I think what it comes down to is Ty specifically told her that I would be the one that has to go in order to pursue and move forward as a unit. Whether it's because he saw more value in Renee than me, I don't think so. I think it all comes back down to the veto, and in a way is kind of like a poetic vengeance.
You and Claudia talked to Daniel C. and Anika a lot this week about working together. What prompted all of those conversations?
Yeah, we sure did. So for me, I spent a lot of this time gearing up for the end of the game, thinking about who do I want to stand by at the end of this game and who do I think I have a good shot at winning against. We both, Claudia and myself, didn't feel like obviously we had a chance against Ty. We wanted him to see him gone. And then we didn't feel like we would have a chance against Renee. Her journey has been so crazy. And, everyone loves an underdog story. I think the three of us, myself, Renee, and Claudia, all were kind of underdogs, but Renee's story has really been at the forefront. She was the one on the block. She was the one openly fighting for her life. And that's something that can really have a lot of face value, especially with jury and especially with speech. So because of that, we saw moving forward that if we were joined up with Daniel C. and Anika, if we were standing by them at the end of this game, not only would it help us get there, but our chances would be higher.
How did you feel about what Kuzi said to Renee after Renee nominated her as the replacement nominee?
Oh gosh, I think everyone probably knows how I felt about that. Kuzi and I were able to talk about it later, and I'm really glad that we did have that talk. I think we both understood each other a lot more after that. But in the moment, I really obviously was not happy about it. I thought it was unfortunate for Kuzi to throw something out like that at a moment when Renee couldn't really defend herself. Also, Renee is not the type of person to just like come back at someone. And I think Kuzi knew that and kind of used that moment to say something that I just felt was completely shutting her down. I thought it kind of took away from Renee's moment and that she'd been fighting so hard for all season. And I just was more or less was disappointed. But that being said, Kuzi and I had a big talk and I saw where she was coming from and it's all sorted now. So we're good. But in the moment, I was not happy about it.
What do you think about the games that the rest of the house guests are playing? Do you feel like anyone is playing better than everyone else?
I think what's interesting about the people who are left is that they've all kind of been playing a different version of a game that reflects themselves. Daniel C and Anika haven't had a win yet, but I do believe that they have a very strong social game, Daniel C in particular. Renee, obviously, like I said, has had a really hard time, ups and downs, but she's come out swinging and she's come out with a win at a very important time in the game. Claudia has had a very well-rounded game. Her social game, her connections have been really good. Now she's got 2 wins. She's willing to show that she'll cut me, whoever, to get to the end. But overall, I think Ty's game has been the most impactful in the sense that he came out swinging with the social alliances and the social gameplay. He's got 6 or 7 wins at this point. He's been on the block 4 times, pulled himself off. He's been pulled off. A very, very well-rounded player. Do I agree with all of his gameplay? No, but I would have to say that if he's at the end, he will likely get my vote.
Do you think this game is more about making friends or more about winning competitions?
I think it flips. I think at the start, it's all about making friends because that's the time when, you've got your pick of the crop you make your alliances, you lock them in. And as you start going through the trials and tribulations of this game, that's kind of what brings people together. It's hard to establish new relationships near the end of the game. It can be done, but I think ultimately it's very hard because layer upon layer of things happen, it gets complicated. The end is really where the comp wins matter. If I had won that veto yesterday, I would still be there. And I was so close. So it's truly, I think, beginning, very much social focused and game focused.
Renee and Claudia have now won back-to-back HOH competitions. Do you believe they were underestimated at the beginning of the game?
100%. I think they were underestimated. I think we all were. We started the game and we were told that there was an alliance of guys who just viewed us as numbers and they were going to keep us along until we weren't useful to them anymore. We were called a weak trio. We were called floaters. We were called all of the above. I think we were all greatly underestimated. For what reason? I don't know. Maybe it's because we're kind or goofy or what have you. But truly, I think I'm very proud that at least I was able to get a veto win in that number of wins that we had under our belts.
Do you think anyone will be able to beat Ty in a competition?
I would love to say yes. I want it to be me. I really don't know at this point. He is, in every aspect of the game, it's seemingly unbeatable. It's honestly impressive. I got to give the man props where props are due. He's good at puzzles. He thought he was going to be bad at trivia, and he was good at that too. So I truly do not know if anyone can beat him.
Do you think it's better to be surprised and be voted out in a double eviction where you don't expect it, or knowing you will be voted out for the entire week and having to wait for it to happen?
Yeah, that's actually something I've been thinking about. For me, I think I would have rather had known. I'm clearly a very sentimental and emotional person, and I would have liked to have time to properly say goodbye, or know that this is going to be my last morning in the BB Can house. This is going to be my last night in the BB Can house. I like to know and have the time to process that, and also have a little bit more time to fight for my life. I feel like not knowing and the shockingness of it all is really what's making it hard for me to digest.
And finally, what will you be looking for when you vote for a winner?
I'm going to look for a player that I feel like can prove that they have been making moves all season long. They may not have to have been at the forefront of everything, but if they can prove that they've done strategic moves, that they've done, made good personal relationships, they've pushed themselves, maybe they don't have a million comp wins, that's fine. But if they can prove how they've taken their losses and used that to benefit their game, they've taken their wins and used that to benefit their game, then that's something that I'm looking for. I also think what's important is somebody who has showed good sportsmanship and is all around a well-faceted player in the sense that they weren't arrogant or they weren't, pompous or what have you. I think that's very important for me as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.